Hey everyone, today I'll be teaching you how to make this crab and shrimp linguini. It is absolutely delicious, it's creamy, and it has a lot of flavor. So let's get started with the video. First, we're going to prep our ingredients. Begin by chopping up a half a cup to a cup of spinach, depending on how much spinach you want in your pasta. When you have finished, set your spinach to the side. Next, we're going to cut 6 garlic cloves into slices. When you're finished, set your sliced garlic to the side. Next, dice 1 tomato. Then set your diced tomato to the side. Finally, peel and devein your shrimp. You can add as much shrimp as you want. I added 8 large pieces of shrimp, but if you really like shrimp, you can add medium-sized shrimp so you can have a lot more in your pasta. When you're finished peeling and deveining your shrimp, set it to the side. In a saucepan over medium heat, add 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Then add your sliced garlic. Cook the garlic and the oil together over medium heat. Once the garlic begins to simmer, cook it for 2 to 3 minutes, or until the garlic begins to turn golden around the edges. Once that happens or the time is up, pour your garlic and oil into a heat-proof bowl. The garlic will continue to cook inside the bowl, creating some delicious garlic chips. Once you've poured the garlic and oil inside the bowl, go ahead and set it to the side to use later. Now, in a large pot of water, add a tablespoon of vinegar and a tablespoon of liquid seafood oil. The vinegar makes it easier for you to pick the crabs after they're finished cooking, and the liquid seafood oil gives your crabs flavor. Now bring the water to a boil. Once the water is boiling, add 1 snow crab and let it cook for 5 minutes. After the initial 5 minutes, take it out of the boiling water, let it cool for about a minute or so, and then pick the meat out. When you're finished, set your crab meat to the side. Now we're going to cook our shrimp. In a pan over medium heat, add some butter. Once your butter has melted, add your shrimp. Then season your shrimp. I seasoned my shrimp with pepper, Old Bay, onion powder, and garlic powder. Cook your shrimp for about 3 to 5 minutes. Once your shrimp has finished cooking, take it off the heat and set it to the side. Next, we're going to cook our linguini noodles. In a large pot of water over high heat, add some salt. Bring the water to a boil and then add your linguini noodles. Cook your noodles for however long it says to on the box. Once your noodles have finished cooking, drain the water and set your noodles to the side. Now that we've finished prepping all of our ingredients, we can go ahead and make our pasta. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of your garlic oil into a large pan. Then add 1/4 cup of diced onions. Then saute your onions for about 3 to 4 minutes. Lightly season your onions with salt and pepper. Now add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and saute that for about 1 minute. Next, add 1 cup of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of butter. Let the chicken broth and butter cook until the butter has melted. Butter has melted, add 2 cups of heavy cream. Now add 2 ounces of cream cheese. Once the cream cheese is melted into your sauce, add 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 or 1/2 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, and 1/4 teaspoon of liquid seafood oil. Then mix everything until well combined. Next, add 1 cup of lump crab meat. Mix it into your sauce and then let it simmer for about 5 minutes. After that, add 2 to 3 tablespoons of your chopped spinach. Or you could add even more spinach if you want. Stir the spinach into your sauce and then let it cook for about 2 more minutes. Now reduce your heat to low and add in your linguini noodles. Stir your linguini noodles into your sauce until they are completely coated. And that's it, you have finished making your pasta. Now it's time to plate it up. Oh, by the way, at this point you can add in your shrimp if you want, or you can save it to add it on top. Once you've added your pasta to your plate, you can go ahead and add your toppings. I added my shrimp, tomatoes, snow crab meat, and the garlic chips from before. And this is the finished result. The pasta was delicious. It was flavorful and creamy. I really like the garlic chips in the pasta as well as the tomatoes. Tomatoes in Alfredo pasta just taste amazing. This is a great pasta for anyone who loves crabs like I do. I'm really glad with the outcome of this pasta, especially since I just made it up from the top of my head. I was really hungry one day, so I thought this would make a great pasta and ended up making it. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today we will be making creamy pesto pasta. So let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by making our pesto. Clean your basil and remove the leaves from the stem. Then grate some Parmesan cheese. Next, in a food processor, add 2 cups of your basil leaves, 2 tablespoons of pine nuts, and 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Then process your ingredients until finely minced. When you're finished with that, gradually add in half a cup of olive oil. Next, add a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Process everything until well combined and then set your pesto to the side. Next, in a large pot of boiling water, add your noodles. Cook your noodles for however long it says to on the box, and don't forget to get some pasta water too. When you're done cooking your noodles, set them to the side. Next, in a large pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Sauté your onions for about 3 to 5 minutes. Once you've sautéed your onions, add about a tablespoon of minced garlic and then let that cook for about 30 seconds. After that, add some red pepper flakes and cook that for another 30 seconds to a minute. Next, add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once your butter is melted, add 1/3 cup of your pesto. Mix your pesto in with the other ingredients. Then add 3/4 cup of heavy cream. Mix everything together until well combined. Next, add 1/4 cup of your pasta water and then mix that in. Let your sauce cook until it becomes thick. Once your sauce has become thick, add 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. Mix the cheese into your sauce and then add a half a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now that everything is mixed together and your sauce is nice and creamy, add your noodles. And that's it, you are finished making your pesto pasta. All you have to do now is plate it up. And this is the finished result. This pasta was so good. It was absolutely delicious. I would totally make this again. I wanted to make some pesto pasta after watching the new Disney Pixar movie Luca, so I decided to make this and wanted to share the recipe with you guys. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey guys, today I'll be teaching you how to make this creamy lobster pasta. This pasta was so good and I'm really excited to show you guys, so let's get started with the video. Begin by prepping your ingredients. Shred some Parmesan cheese, and some Parmigiano Reggiano. Then finally chop some fresh parsley. I recently learned that if you pull the parsley through a cheese grater, it's easier to pick the leaves off. When you finish chopping your parsley, set it to the side. Next, in a large pot of boiling water, add 5 lobster claws. Boil the lobster claws for 5 minutes. When your lobster claws have finished cooking, remove the meat from the shells. Once you remove the meat from the shells, chop them into bite-sized pieces. When you're finished, set your lobster claw meat to the side. Next, remove the meat from 3 lobster tails. Cut the top of the lobster tail down the middle. Then open the lobster tail and remove the meat. Make sure to check for any veins or impurities on your lobster tail and give it a good rinse. When you finish removing the meat from all your lobster tails, chop them into pieces. I usually use scissors instead of a knife just because it's easier. When you're finished, set your lobster tail meat to the side. Now, in a large pot of boiling water, add salt, and then add your linguini noodles. Cook your linguini noodles for as long as it says to on the box. When your noodles have finished cooking, make sure to save about a half a cup of pasta water. Next, in a large pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then add your lobster tail meat. After that, season your lobster. I season my lobster with pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and Old Bay. Sauté your lobster for about 5 to 6 minutes. When your lobster is finished cooking, take it out of the pan. Add a bit more olive oil in your pan and then add a half a cup of diced onions. Then saute your onions for about 4 to 5 minutes. Once you're finished sauteing your onions, add 1 tablespoon of garlic and saute the garlic with the onions for about 1 minute. Next, add 1 cup of chicken broth and 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir everything together until the butter has completely melted. Once the butter has melted, add 2 cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together and allow your sauce to simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it becomes thick. Then add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese and 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. Next, add a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes. Mix your seasonings in and then add the juice from half a lemon, your cooked lobster from before, a half a teaspoon of basil, and 1/4 cup of your pasta water. Then mix everything together until well combined. Now add your linguini noodles and mix them into the sauce until they are well coated. Now all that's left is to plate everything up. I added the lobster claw meat on top of my pasta, and then I added the chopped parsley from before. And this is the finished result. The pasta was delicious. I think it's gonna be one of my favorites. It was so creamy and good. The lobster was good in the pasta as well. I especially like the red pepper flakes, hint of lemon, and the Parmigiano Reggiano. By the way, I heated up the lobster claw meat and tossed it in some butter before adding it on top. You can do that, or you could just add it into the sauce. I also cut up the lobster tail meat a bit more after cooking it, because smaller pieces would be more well dispersed than bigger pieces, but this is also optional. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make oxtail rosta pasta, so let's get started with the video. Begin by preparing your ingredients. Dice 2 onions, cut a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and a yellow bell pepper into slices. For the bell peppers, I cut the bell pepper in half and then I sliced one half for the rosta pasta and I diced the other half for my oxtails. And chop up some green onions. When you're finished, set your ingredients to the side. Next, we're going to make our seasoning mix. In a small bowl, add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of seasoned salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Mix your seasonings together and then set them to the side. Next, clean your oxtails. When I clean my oxtails, I'll rinse them with water in the sink. Then I'll try to get some of the blood off. Then I'll use water, vinegar, and limes to clean them. I'll add vinegar and lime juice to the water the oxtails are in. And after that, I'll use the limes to scrub the oxtails. I'll usually repeat this process about 1 or 2 times, and then I'll soak my oxtails in the water, lime, and vinegar mixture for a few minutes. After you finish cleaning your oxtails, pat them dry and place them in a different bowl. Once you've added your oxtails in a different bowl, add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, your seasoning mix that you made before, and about 1 tablespoon of browning. By the way, I usually dilute my browning with a bit of water because that's what my grandma used to do. Next, mix everything together until your oxtails are completely coated. When you're finished, set your oxtails to the side. Next, set your Instant Pot to sauté. Then add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in the pot. Once your Instant Pot is hot, add your oxtails and sear them on each side for about 1 minute. When you finish searing your oxtails, take them out of the Instant Pot and set them to the side. Next, add 2 tablespoons of butter and using a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula, deglaze the bottom of the pot. After adding your butter, make sure to set your heat to low. Once you've deglazed the bottom of your pot, set the heat on your Instant Pot to normal, and then add 1 diced onion and your diced bell peppers. Sauté your vegetables for about 5 minutes. After you've sautéed your vegetables, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Then sauté everything together for about 1 to 2 more minutes. After sautéing your veggies, add 2 cups of beef broth, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 3 bay leaves, 1 sprig of rosemary, a couple sprigs of thyme, and a half a cup of green onions. Mix everything together, and then place your oxtails back into the pot. After adding your oxtails, add 1 habanero pepper. Then place the lid on top and close it. Next, set your Instant Pot to pressure cook and set the time for 45 minutes. Then do a natural release for 15 minutes. Then unseal the vent. Once all the steam from the vent has been released, remove the lid. Next, remove the fat from the pot. Now that you've finished cooking your oxtails, we can move on and make the rosta pasta. Take some oxtails out of the pot and remove the meat from the bones. You should only need about 2 or 3 for this. Once you finish removing the meat, set it to the side. Next, in a large pot of water, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and then add your pasta noodles. Cook your noodles for however long it says to on the box. Next, in a large pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then add a half a cup of diced onions and green onions. Sauté your onions for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then add your bell peppers. Sauté your onions and bell peppers for about 5 minutes. While sautéing your veggies, season them with salt and pepper and a bit of jerk seasoning. Once you finish sautéing your vegetables, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, and then sauté the garlic with the vegetables for about 1 to 2 minutes. Next, add 1 cup of chicken broth and 1½ cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together and then bring your sauce to a simmer. Once your sauce has become thick, add 1½ cups of Parmesan cheese. Then add 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of Old Bay, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 tablespoon of jerk seasoning. Mix everything together until well combined, and then add your noodles. Mix your noodles into the sauce until they are completely coated. Next, add the meat from your oxtails into your pasta. And that's it, you are all finished making your oxtail rosta pasta. Now all you have to do is plate it up. And this is the finished result. This was so freaking good. The oxtails tasted great in the pasta. Everything went together so perfectly. I totally enjoyed making and eating this. 10 out of 10 would totally recommend. By the way, these are not Jamaican oxtails. They're just oxtails that I make my way. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make this delicious Cajun fettuccine alfredo. So let's get started with the video. Begin by preparing your ingredients. Dice a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and 1 onion. Then slice 2 andouille sausages and peel and devein as many shrimp as you'd like in your pasta. Once you've finished preparing your ingredients, you can begin making your pasta. In a large pot of water, add salt. Then bring the pot of water to a boil. When your water starts boiling, add your fettuccine noodles and cook them for however long it says to on the box. Don't forget to save some pasta water for later. Next, in a large pan over medium heat, add butter. Once your butter has melted, add your shrimp. Then season your shrimp. I season my shrimp with pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Cajun seasoning, and paprika. After you've seasoned your shrimp, sauté them for about 4 to 5 minutes or until they have cooked. Once you've finished cooking your shrimp, take them out of the pan. Then add your sausage. Cook your sausage for about 5 minutes. When you're finished, take your sausage out of the pan. Next, add a half a cup of your diced bell peppers and a half a cup of onions. Sauté your veggies for about 5 minutes. After sautéing your veggies, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Cook everything together for about 1 minute and then add a half a cup of chicken broth. After adding your chicken broth, add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once the butter has melted, add 2 cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together and bring your sauce to a simmer. Cook your sauce for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it starts to become thick. Once your sauce starts to become thick, add a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Mix in your cheese and then add a half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/4 or 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. It really depends on how spicy you want your pasta. Mix your seasonings into the sauce and then add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of parsley, and 1/4 cup of your pasta water. Mix everything together until well combined, and then add your sausage and your fettuccine noodles. Mix your noodles into the sauce until they are well coated. Once you've added your noodles, reduce your heat to low. When you're finished, you can go ahead and plate everything up. And this is the finished result. You can add your shrimp in your pasta when you're mixing in your noodles, or you can add it on top like I did. I also added some extra Parmesan cheese, parsley, and red pepper flakes on top of my pasta. The Cajun fettuccine tasted great. The recipe is really easy and quick, so I totally recommend giving it a try. Out of nowhere, I started craving Cajun pasta, so I decided to make this, and I'm really glad I did because it tasted great. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, in this video we will be making copycat Olive Garden breadsticks, but we're not just making breadsticks, we are also going to make the fettuccine alfredo and the salad as well. All of this was super good, so let's get started with the video. In a bowl, add 1/4 cup of warm water and 1 packet of dry active yeast. Set the bowl aside for about 5 minutes or until the yeast has become foamy. Then add 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of unsalted softened butter. Then, using an electric mixer, mix these ingredients together for about a minute or two. Then add 4 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of warm water. Mix all your ingredients together until a sticky dough forms. This should take about 5 minutes. Flour a clean surface and then knead your dough for about 3 minutes or until smooth. When you finish kneading your dough, roll it into a 2-foot long log. Then, cut the log into 16 1.5-inch long pieces. Then, knead and shape each piece into a 7-inch long breadstick. Arrange the part. It's important to arrange them 2 inches apart before you proof your breadsticks. I forgot to arrange mine and had to do it carefully later. Cover the baking sheet with a cloth and then let your breadsticks rise in a warm spot for about 45 minutes or until they have doubled in size. Next, melt 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Then brush your breadsticks with the melted butter. Sprinkle a bit of salt on top of your breadsticks. When you're finished, place your breadsticks in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes or until lightly golden. Next, using the remaining butter from before, add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and 1/4 teaspoon of basil. Mix all your ingredients together and then brush the butter over your breadsticks. When you're finished, set your breadsticks to the side. Now that we've finished making the breadsticks, we're going to make our salad. Begin by preparing your ingredients. Chop 1 or a half a head of lettuce. The amount of lettuce you chop depends on the amount of salad you plan on making. Next, slice 2 to 3 Roma tomatoes. And 1 red onion. When you're finished, place your lettuce in a bowl, add your red onions, tomatoes, half a cup of black pitted olives, 3/4 cup of croutons, 3 to 5 pepperoncini peppers, and 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Oh, I almost forgot this, but add some pepper as well. Then mix everything together. And that's it, you are all finished. Once you're ready to eat, you can go ahead and add your Olive Garden salad dressing. Next, we're going to make our fettuccine alfredo. In a large pot of water, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and add your fettuccine noodles. Cook your noodles for however long it says to on the box. While our noodles are cooking, we're going to make our sauce. In a large pan over medium heat, melt 1 stick of butter. When your butter is melted, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Cook the garlic in the butter for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then add 2 cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together until well combined, and then let your sauce simmer until it becomes thick. Once your sauce is thick, add 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. Then mix everything together until well combined. Then add a half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Next, mix in some pasta water, and then add your noodles. Once you've added your noodles, you can go ahead and turn off your heat or place it on low. While you're mixing your noodles into the sauce, add 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped parsley. I would just like everyone to admire how creamy and delicious this pasta looks. When you've finished making your pasta, you can go ahead and plate everything up. And this is the finished result. Everything came out great. I totally should have broke open the breadstick, but I forgot. But take my word for it, it tastes delicious. The breadsticks were a bit crispy on the outside, but so soft on the inside. Everything tasted and smelled delicious. Especially the fettuccine. The fettuccine was so creamy and good. The salad was delicious too. I mean, the whole thing was just great. This was way better than Olive Garden. 10 out of 10 would recommend and make again. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral Trader Joe's lobster bisque pasta, so let's get started with the video. These are all the ingredients I'm using and I got them all from Trader Joe's. I'll also have them listed in the description. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, dice half an onion. Then slice a cup of cherry tomatoes in half. And finally, chop up some Italian parsley. When you're finished, set your ingredients to the side. Next, defrost the Trader Joe's linguini tails. Then rinse and clean the tails with cold water. When you're finished, set the tails to the side. Next, in a large pot filled with water, add salt. Then bring the water to a boil. Next, add your pasta noodles and cook them for however long it says to on the package. I'm using the Trader Joe's pappardelle noodles, but you can use whatever pasta noodles you want. While the noodles are cooking, we're going to make our sauce. In a large pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once the butter has melted, add a half a cup of diced onions and 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Sauté the onions and garlic for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then mix in your sliced cherry tomatoes. Next, add the linguini tails and season them to your liking. I seasoned mine with seasoned salt, Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, pepper, and paprika. Then cook everything together for about 1 to 2 minutes. Next, mix in the Trader Joe's lobster bisque. Next, mix in half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And finally mix in 2 cups of spinach. Once the spinach has wilted, add the pasta noodles and toss it in the sauce until the noodles are completely coated. And that's it, you are all done making your lobster pasta. All that's left to do is plate it up. After adding the pasta in the bowl, I added some Parmesan cheese, red pepper flakes, and parsley on top. And this is the finished result. This pasta was super easy to make and so delicious, and it only took a few ingredients as well. I definitely recommend giving this recipe a try, it's perfect for a quick and easy dinner. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today we will be making this delicious crab cake scampi. This pasta was so freaking delicious. It complements the crab cake so well. I can't wait to show you guys, so let's get started with the video. In a pan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then add 1/4 cup of diced onions and 1/4 cup of diced bell peppers. Season your bell peppers and onions with salt and pepper and then saute them for about 5 minutes. When you're finished, set them to the side. Next, in a bowl, add 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1½ teaspoons of Old Bay hot sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, 1 tablespoon of parsley, and 1 beaten egg. Mix all these ingredients together until well combined. Next, add about 1 pound of crab meat, 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, your bell peppers and onions from before, and 1/4 cup of green onions. Fold all these ingredients together until well combined. When you're finished, take a handful of your crab mixture and shape it into half a sphere. When you finish shaping your crab cakes, place them on a baking sheet and then put them in the oven to bake at 450 degrees for 15 minutes. While our crab cakes are cooking in the oven, we are going to start making our scampi. In a pan over medium heat, melt 2 tablespoons of butter. Then add a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Cook your breadcrumbs for 4 to 6 minutes or until golden brown. Once you have toasted your breadcrumbs, set them to the side. Next, in a large pot, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and add your pasta noodles. Cook your pasta noodles for however long it says to on the box. Next, in a large pan, add olive oil. Then add 1/4 cup of diced onions. Sauté your onions for about 5 minutes. Then add 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes and 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Sauté everything together for about 30 seconds to a minute. After that, add 1 cup of white wine. Continue to cook the wine for about 3 minutes. Then add 6 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter has melted, add the juice of 1 lemon, a bit of pasta water, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay, and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Mix all these ingredients together until well combined. Once you finish making your sauce, add your pasta noodles. Once your pasta is mixed in, add some Italian seasoning and 1 tablespoon of parsley. And that's it, you've finished making your scampi pasta. Your crab cakes should be finished cooking, so go ahead and take them out of the oven. Once you've taken them out of the oven, brush them with some melted butter. Now you can go ahead and plate everything up. Use the breadcrumbs we toasted before and sprinkle them all over your pasta. Then add some shredded Parmesan cheese and parsley to your crab cake and pasta. And this is the finished result. This was so delicious. The scampi pasta complements the crab cake perfectly in my opinion. And the toasted breadcrumbs adds a really nice crunch to it. The crab cake tasted great as well. I like adding lemon juice to my crab cake, so the lemony flavor from the pasta went with the crab cake so well. I was inspired to make this after seeing Kimmy's Creation make a crab cake scampi, and hers looked so good. She has a lot of good recipes. I'll have her TikTok and YouTube channel linked in the description below. This was so good and I totally recommend giving it a try. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral caramelized onion pasta, so let's get started with the video. Begin by cutting 2 onions into thin slices. When you're finished, set the onions to the side until you're ready to use them. Next, in a large pot filled with water, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and then add your pasta noodles. I added thin spaghetti noodles. Cook the pasta for however long it says to on the box. While the pasta noodles are cooking, we're going to make the sauce. In a large pan over low heat, add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once the butter has completely melted, add the onions you prepared before. Proceed to caramelize the onions by cooking them at low heat and stirring them occasionally for about 30 to 40 minutes. You'll know the onions are caramelized when they're soft, brown, and jammy. Once you finish caramelizing the onions, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and 2 tablespoons of chili crisp oil. Then mix everything together and let everything cook for another minute. Next, add 2 cups of heavy cream. Then mix everything together until well combined, and then let your sauce simmer until it becomes thick. Once the sauce starts to thicken, mix in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Then add a half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Once you finish making the sauce, turn off the heat and add your pasta noodles. Mix the noodles into the sauce until they are completely coated and you are all finished. Now all you have to do is plate it up. To garnish my pasta, I added some chili crisp on top. Then I added some Parmesan cheese and parsley on top as well. And this is the finished result. This pasta was seriously so delicious. The caramelized onions and chili crisp gave it a really good flavor. It's also super creamy and didn't need a lot of seasonings. And once again, it's super easy to make. I completely understand why this pasta went viral. It is so good. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!